Dear learners, a very nice morning to all of you. Thank you very much for joining the live class with me, Faisal Ahmed, faculty member of the Department of English at World University of Bangladesh. So today, this morning, we are going to deal with a new drama, which is A Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen. And Henrik Ibsen is a Norwegian dramatist, as well as he was a poet. Okay, so, but most commonly he is known as a playwright or dramatist. Okay, so I hope you will be with me throughout the whole lecture, okay, with full concentration. Then you can understand it properly and can apply your own knowledge and opinion, okay? And also you can align some critical issues like feminism, okay, with the contemporary society of Europe and also the contemporary society in Bangladesh as well. So the genre of this drama is realistic, modern, written in prose rather than poetic verse, okay? Like some drama written in poetic verse by William Shakespeare and other dramatists, especially in ancient time. But in the modern time, most plays or dramas are written in prose rather than poetic verse. So, and almost all or most of the modern drama are realistic, okay, and connected to the real life situation, and especially written about the ordinary people, okay, like you and me. Original language of this drama is Norwegian or the language of Norway, okay. And after that, this play got very popularity among the audience in the theaters. That's why it also written in English and other languages in Europe. Okay. Meanwhile, it was also dramatized and staged. Okay, dramatized and performed on the stage in different European theaters, including Norwegian theaters. So the time and place the drama was written is 1879, Rome, Amalfi, the two cities in Italy. And date of first publication is 1879. That means more than 100 years ago. I mean about 150 years. To say exactly 143 years. The tone of the drama is serious, intense, and somber. Setting of the play is 1870s society in Europe, especially in Norway. So the place is Norway and the time is 1870s. I mean the time when the drama was published, first published, or first performed on the stage of theater. The protagonist of this drama is a female character whose name is Nora Hammer. Okay, her L is silent or will be silent while we pronounce the word or the surname of the female character, Nora Hammer. not Helmer, okay? Nora Hammer. Unlike many of the dramatists who came before him, I mean, Henrik Ibsen, the writer or the dramatist of this drama, Ibsen doesn't portray rich, powerful, or socially significant people in his plays. Rather, he populates his dramas with ordinary middle-class characters. Ibsen's language too is commonplace. It's not a sophisticated one. So let's be introduced with the character which are appeared in the drama, A Doll's House. Nora Hammer, Torvald Hammer, okay? Nora's husband, Torvald Hammer. Krogstad, a lawyer. Mrs. Linda, Nora's childhood friend. Dr. Rank, Torvald's best friend. I mean, Nora's husband, Torvald's best friend. Bob, Amy, and Ever. They are Nora and Torvald's three small children. Annie Mary, the Hammers' nanny in the house. I mean, the carer of their children, who is called nanny. Okay, Annie Mary. And Nora's father. Nora's father is already died before the play begins. We just will find some message about him in the voice of Nora. Okay, so let's know the detail about the character. So Nora Hammer, the central character, female character, or the feministic character in the play. Okay, with whom the whole play revolves. The protagonist of the play and the wife of Torvald Hammer. Nora initially seems like a playful, naive child, like a doll who lacks knowledge of the world outside her home. Okay, so she is a home dweller, never knows about the outside happenings or activities, okay, or never allowed by her husband to go outside without his permission. So she does have some worldly experience, however, and the small acts of rebellion in which she engages indicate that she is not as innocent or happy as she appears. She comes to see her position in her marriage with increasing clarity and finds the strength to free herself from her oppressive situation in the male-dominating society. So the society was absolutely male-dominated 100 years ago. Still, it exists in other third world countries as well. Okay, so Torvald Hammer, Nora's husband. Torvald delights in his new position at the bank. So Torvald is a bank manager, or he works at a bank. So he is a banker. I mean, Nora's husband is a banker who's called Torvald Hammer, just as he delights in his position of authority as a husband. So he delights his position as a banker in the society, as well as he also dominates in his house, okay, and dominates his wife Nora in the house as well as a husband. He treats Nora like a child, or if we closely say that, like a doll. Okay, that is the title of the drama, is A Doll's House. Okay, so here Nora is like a doll in the house of Torvald Hammer, okay, who is the dominating character, like other male dominating characters in our society. So in a manner that is both kind and patronizing. So patronizing, that is supporting, okay? He does not view Nora as an equal, okay? Though it should have been, but in the male dominating society, always the male characters view female characters as not equal to them, or not equal to their level in the society, but rather as a plaything or doll to be teased and admired, okay? Or more closely to say, like a slave, okay? Though that is vulgar. In general, Torvald is overly concerned with his place and status in society, and he allows his emotions to be soured heavily by the prospect of society's respect and the fear of society's scorn. So the people and their mindset, especially the male characters in the society, okay, are influenced, okay, and are like soured, influenced, or steered by the influence of the society in which they live in, okay? So the fear about society's scorn, they also think about society's respect. That's why this male character dominate female characters, okay, inside or outside home. And they always think that they are the dependent character, and they are like just like dolls. They have no values, they have no values of their opinions, okay? Even they have no values as a human being or equal to them. Okay, that's the reality of the society. So other characters, get to be familiar with them as well. Krogstad, a lawyer who went to school with Torvald and holds a subordinate position. Subordinate position, that means a junior position at Torvald's bank. Krogstad's character is contradictory. Though his bad deeds seem to stem from a desire to protect his childhood from scorn, he is perfectly willing to use unethical tactics to achieve his goals. His willingness to allow Nora to suffer is despicable, but his claims to feel sympathy for her and the hard circumstances of his own life compel us to sympathize with him to some degree. So this character actually works as a negative character in the play, okay? So who also, like other male characters, okay, made Nora to suffer in the play to some extent, though eventually he is also shown as a good character, or he just was able to gather some sympathies from the audience, okay, to some degree or to some extent. So Mrs. Linda, another character, that is Nora's childhood friend and also his adulthood friend as well. Christina Linda, whose full name is Mrs. Christina Linda, who is practical, down-to-earth woman, and her sensible worldview highlights Nora's somewhat childlike outlook on life. Okay, so Mrs. Linda is completely opposite character in nature to Nora. While Mrs. Linda is very progressive and knows very worldly happenings outside home, and Nora doesn't. Okay, so Nora acts like a child or a doll. So here, this character, Mrs. Linda or Christina Linda, is shown just as a symbol of the freedom for women, whereas Nora, who is deprived of the female's freedom, okay, equal to male characters in the society. So this character is good and also shown as a symbol for the freedom of women. So Mrs. Linda's account of a life of poverty underscores the privileged nature of the life that Nora leads. Also, we learn that Mrs. Linda took responsibility for her sick parent, whereas Nora abandoned her father when he was ill. Okay, so the women could take care of her father, but Nora couldn't. Why? Because Nora could do nothing without the permission of her husband, whereas Linda is a freedom-like woman and she can do anything, okay, on her own and with her own will. Other characters, Dr. Rank, Torvald's best friend. Dr. Rank stands out as the one character in the play who is by and large unconcerned with what others think of him. He is also notable for his stoic acceptance of his fate. Unlike Torvald and Nora, Dr. Rank admits to the diseased nature, literally in his case, of his life. For the most part, he avoids talking to Torvald about his imminent death out of respect for Torvald's distaste for ugliness. Okay, so here Torvald is a doctor, okay? His life is somewhat miserable and he actually give all the credit, or which is not credit actually, negatively say it is like fate, okay, fate, irony of fate. Okay, so Bob, Amy, and Evers, Nora and Torvalds, three small children. In a brief interaction with her children, Nora shows herself to be a loving mother, when she later refuses to spend time with her children because she fears she may morally corrupt them. Nora acts on her belief that the quality of parenting strongly influences a child's development. So here, with the children characters, the writer tries to show us that parents' behavior, parents' parenting, okay, have a great impact on their children in the upbringing, okay? So if the parenting is bad, then the children will be bad after grown up. And when the parenting is good, then children will be good human beings in the society. So children's behavior completely characterized by their parents' behaviors. Okay, this is very important. Annie Mary, the Hammer's nanny. Okay, Hammer, I mean the family of Hammer, nanny of the family of Hammers. That means the caregiver of three children of Nora and Torvald, who are Bob, Amy, and Evers. Though Ibsen doesn't fully develop her character, Annie Mary seems to be a kindly woman who has genuine affection for Nora. She had to give up her own daughter in order to take the nursing job offered by Nora's father. So she also, as a nurse, she also works as a nurse, and she even for her nursing, I mean to take care other people's children, she fails to take care of her own children. Okay, so that is shown by these characters. In our society, some women works as nurse or nannies, okay, who fail to give care to their own children due to giving care to the children of other people. Thus, she shares with Nora and Mrs. Linda the act of sacrificing her own happiness out of economic necessity. Nora's father. Though Nora's father is dead, before the action of the play begins, the characters refer to him throughout the play. Though she clearly loves and admires her father, Nora also comes to blame him for continuing to her subservient position in life. I mean, not very good position in life, okay? I mean, he was in debt. Okay, so now we're going to know about Ibsen's dialogue in the play. Though his dialogue is uncomplicated and without rhetoric flourish, there is no rhetorical devices or rhetorical expression in the drama's dialogue. It's very ordinary dialogue, okay? Just like which happens in ordinary situation in the society among us. It subtly conveys more than it seems to. It is apparently simple, yet full of loaded subtext, sets Ibsen's drama apart from earlier and contemporary verse plays. Okay, so very simple but very witty. Conveys some message and also states the male-dominating society. And also it talks for females' freedom and against male domination. The story map, major conflict. Nora's struggle with Krogster, who threatens to tell her husband about her past crime. Incites Nora's journey of self-discovery and provides much of the play's dramatic suspense. Nora's primary struggle, however, is against the selfish, stifling, and oppressive attitudes of her husband, Torvald, and of the society that he represents. Rising action. Nora's first conversation with Mrs. Linda. Krogster's visit and blackmailing of Nora. Krogster's delivery of the letter. That letter exposes Nora. Okay, here Mr. Krogster, the lawyer, blackmails Nora in the drama. Okay. Climax. Torvald reads, and that is concerning a financial transaction. Okay. Climax. Torvald reads Krogster's letter and erupts angrily against Nora. Following action. Nora's realization that Torvald is devoted not to her, but to the idea of her as, I mean, the male dominion, as someone who depends on him. A decision to abandon him to find independence. Okay. So that's the general idea of the play. Let's know something more about it. Okay, Henrik Ibsen, born in 1828, the writer of the drama, and died in 1906, was a Norwegian poet, playwright, and theater director who is often referred to as the founding father of modernist theater. Ibsen was a controversial figure because his work sought to reveal the sometimes unsettling truth of human reality. That lay obscured behind the veil of Victorian society's moral dictates. In many of his plays, women are the vessels through which disruption of this state was enacted. A Doll's House was published in 1879, and its rule-defying protagonist caused quite an uproar to the extent that some performances actually presented a more conventional alternate ending to the play. Nora's and Torvald's marriage is a traditional one in which Torvald, manager of a bank, is supposed to make all the major financial decisions, save those that his wife is allowed to make with her regular allowance to keep up herself, the children, and the house. But when he falls sick and requires a year of rest in Italy, which he cannot afford, he is too proud to ask anyone for the help that he needs. So Nora leads him to believe that the money for the trip is a gift from her father. Okay? So, which is actually not. I mean, that is the bride price acted here and which considered as gift by her husband. Jotuk, okay? Though really it's from an illegal loan which she has taken out behind his back and to which she has forged her father's signature. All the while, so Nora manages this money forging her father's signature, okay? But her husband Torvald considered it as a gift. So when he found out that Nora did this illegal activity, then he got angry, okay, and he fired her from the house. So all the while Torvald pampers her and calls her cute, condescending nicknames while she appears complimented and content. He suspects nothing unusual as his little song lark, his child, flirts nervously about the house, okay? So Nora's husband never calls her by her name, rather he calls her by some other nicknames like a bird or little song lark or child or something else, okay? She has quietly saved and done little paid work of her own in order to pay back what she owes and is very proud of this. But not all is well at the bank. Something drastic must soon take place. Though taking that a faulty loan, Nora is doing something that she knows is wrong. But with conviction that she is acting in her family's best interest, this play deals explicitly with the emancipation of women, emancipation, that is freedom, financial freedom and other freedom, which is called emancipation of women from an oppressive marital or familial system without necessarily, despite what many of his contemporaries thought, condemning those systems completely. Okay. Condemn means blame. My copy of the play is published along with 5 other plays by Ibsen by the Modern Library and includes an introduction. Okay, okay, Ibsen was accused of being an enemy to the sacred ties of marriage. People could not understand that to him, marriage was so sacred. I mean, at the end of the drama, Nora, okay, left the house of her husband, and through this leaving, Ibsen the writer shows that female broke the tie of marriage, okay, traditional bondage in the society between a man and a woman. Okay, so in the society, while the drama was written and was performed on the stage of theaters, okay, people or audience became very angry that Ibsen was accused of being an enemy to the sacred ties of marriage, okay. But people later on understood him, okay, then accepted his philosophy. That is now feminism, though some females got it wrong, okay, and applied it wrongly. People could not understand that to him marriage was so sacred that he believed it must be based upon a spiritual communion. Mere living together was not enough. He felt that a man and women should ideally go through life together as perfect equals, not unequals or not dependents or not doll-like characters, okay? In perfect honesty, free to develop each in his own way into a complete human entity. As Nietzsche said, what is freedom? To have the will to be responsible for oneself. To look at the play with Nietzsche's statement in mind is to see that the solutions to Nora's problems lay within Nora herself, a lesson that can be similarly applied to women and other marginalized groups, okay, more generally. Marginalized, that means who are oppressed in the society, especially women and dependent people. I have mixed feelings about this so far. I find that notion, okay, these things are written by the writer here, okay, so I'm not gonna read it. Okay, so okay, that's actually, I think, good enough for introduction to the drama. So we will know more about this drama in the next week or next class, next live class, okay? So I think that's enough for today. So have you got any question?
No, sir.
Okay, that's fine. Anyone else? Okay, the play is a 3-act play, okay? 3-act play. The Doll's House is a 3-act play written by Henrik Ibsen, okay? So the play is significant for its critical attitude toward 19th century marriage norms and also about the females' freedom, okay, or females' equality with men. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much for being with me. And take care. See you next class.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye-bye.